Good morning. Good morning, namaskar. Good morning, everybody, namaskar. This is Engineer Singh speaking from Bharat, India. On this day, November 11, 2021, Thursday, it's now around 3:45, 3:50, early morning, and I'm here to have a glimpse with you about professional issues, engineering issues, all that. And this is my INTP India certificate, which is at international level, issued by Institution of Engineers India, which is a member of International Professional Engineers Agreement, and this is Chartered Engineer India certification under Royal Charter issued by King George V in 1935. And of course, here is another certificate, which is Fellow. You can say this Fellow, FIE, Fellow of Institution of Engineers India. And of course, this is quality related file that I usually share with you. So here is what title of talk being, that is quality and safety contracts. It is civil field engineering, mix up of language, some part in English and some equivalent part in Hindi, not exactly perfect translation but communicative one, so that our country India, where 60% or 70% people use Hindi, they should also share. And this is life and engineers. What is role of engineers in life, and what life expects from engineers, what life expects engineers to do for them, what society expects engineers to work for them. And of course, quality is a prime concern here. Quality and contracts along with safety, health and environment. Then important parts and important functions in engineering, and those are designs and designs based construction. And construction means what methods we adopt in designs and construction. And then contract and contracting organizations. And of course, main part is based on a kind of subject, you can say, kind of not exactly subject but a kind of world, much more than subject, and that is developing resource, or you can say that is called communication and coordination, which are very significant areas where I think all fields around the world deal with. Whatever type of communication it may be, what sort of communication it may be, what sort of coordination it may be. Coordination is very important for everybody. तालमेल किसी भी काम करने के लिए तालमेल का होना आवश्यक, संचार माध्यम का होना आवश्यक। संचार कैसे करें, संचार करने के क्या तरीके हों, what are procedures, what are methods for communication, and not only for communication but also effective communication that should not go futile. ऐसी communication ना हो, ऐसा संचार ना हो जिसका कोई यूज़ ना हो। कम्युनिकेशन, संचार बहुत आवश्यक, किसी भी काम को करने के लिए कोऑर्डिनेशन, तालमेल बहुत आवश्यक। ये बात हमको समझनी चाहिए। हाँ, कि मैं जब हम क्वालिटी, सेफ्टी, हेल्थ, एनवायरनमेंट की बात करते हैं, आप समझते हैं हम मजाक करते नहीं, ये वास्तविकता है। सीरियसली, गंभीरता से हमको सोचना होगा। ना सिर्फ सोचना होगा बल्कि करना होगा। हिंदी में बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कुछ कुछ, ताकि लोग को बुरा ना लगे और समझ भी आ जाए। वैसे इंजीनियरिंग में इंग्लिश ही डोमिनेटिंग लैंग्वेज रही है और रहती है, स्पेशली लिखने के लिए। बोलना ना सही, लिखना। क्वालिटी जिसको हम गुणवत्ता कहते हैं, सेफ्टी, हेल्थ एंड एनवायरनमेंट। सेफ्टी का मतलब है हादसों से, एक्सीडेंट से सुरक्षा, एक्सीडेंट से बचाव। कौन चाहेगा दुर्घटना काम में? कोई भी नहीं चाहेगा। काम हो या ना काम हो, दुर्घटना किसी को पसंद नहीं आएगी। और आपके पास कितनी शक्ति है, आप उसका कैसा उपयोग करते हैं, ये भी एक प्रश्न है। शायद सबको एकदम समझ ना आए। अगर आपके काम में गुणवत्ता नहीं, तो आपका प्रोडक्ट हो, उत्पादन हो, इंजीनियरिंग का काम हो, कोई भी काम हो, बिना गुणवत्ता मैं समझता हूँ सब बेकार है। हो सकता है आपको बेकार ना लगे, आप हर चीज़ को सही मान लें, लेकिन जब उसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती है, जांच होती है, एंड इफ यू फाइंड ये ठीक नहीं हुआ काम, इसमें कमी रह गई है, डिफेक्ट रह गया है, उसको डिफेक्ट कह लीजिए आप, उसको कमी कह लीजिए आप, उसको कुछ भी कह लीजिए, जहाँ गुणवत्ता कम है। इसलिए निर्माण में हो, निर्माण कार्य हो, वहाँ क्वालिटी चाहिए। उत्पादन हो, वहाँ क्वालिटी चाहिए। मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो, वहाँ भी क्वालिटी चाहिए। सेवाएं हों, वहाँ भी क्वालिटी चाहिए। शिक्षा में क्वालिटी चाहिए। सोसाइटी में, समाज में क्वालिटी चाहिए। बहुत बड़ी बात है ये, समाज में क्वालिटी, हर व्यक्ति में क्वालिटी चाहिए। और आप तरह से लिखते हैं, बात करते हैं, कम्युनिकेट करते हैं, संचार करते हैं किसी भी तरीके से, उसमें भी क्वालिटी चाहिए। अगर आपका क्वालिटी अच्छा है तो संचार माध्यम आपका सफलतापूर्वक काम करेगा। क्वालिटी इन कम्युनिकेशन एंड क्वालिटी इन कोऑर्डिनेशन। अगर आप तालमेल करके, सोच समझ के कोई काम करते हैं, उसे एक अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेशन कहा जा सकता है। कोऑर्डिनेशन का मतलब होता है तालमेल, और कम्युनिकेशन का मतलब होता है संचार। हर जगह गुणवत्ता की आवश्यकता है, हर एक्टिविटी में, हर कर्म में, जिंदगी में, जीवन में, और अभियांत्रिक समाज में, अभियांत्रिक प्रोफेशन में, व्यवसाय में, और अभियांत्रिक सेवा में। एंड आप कह सकते हैं जीवन अभियांत्रिक बेस है। बिना अभियांत्रिकी के, इंजीनियरिंग के ज़िंदगी नहीं चलती। जिसका मतलब है एक ऐसा विश्व इंजीनियरिंग का, ऐसी दुनिया जो एक तरह से कह सकते हैं आप सुपर लाइफ की तरह होती है। होती नहीं है सुपर लाइफ, लेकिन उसकी तरह होती है, क्योंकि जो चीज़ें कल्पना में हैं वो चीज़ें वास्तविकता में अगर आती हैं तो इंजीनियरिंग ही है कल्पना की दुनिया को वास्तविकता में लाना। हम क्या ड्रीम देखते हैं उसको वास्तविकता में लाना, सपना हम क्या देखते हैं, यही ये व्यवसाय है। इसी प्रकार चिकित्सा का संसार वो भी सुपर व्यवसाय है। गुणवत्ता हर काम में आवश्यक। सिक्योरिटी बिना, सेफ्टी बिना सब काम बेकार। वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। Without quality, without safety, every work what you do is futile, manufacturing or production or construction. सुरक्षा सब जगह आवश्यक, पहले भी कहा फिर कह रहा हूँ। प्रोडक्शन हो, निर्माण हो, प्रोसेस हो, कोई भी कर्म हो, कोई भी काम हो, कोई भी आप प्रोडक्ट का, उत्पादक का इस्तेमाल करें, प्रयोग करें, कोई भी सेवाएं लें या दें, जहाँ शक्ति उपयोग हो, इकोनॉमिक्स काम करे। शक्ति का उपयोग किस तरह किया जाए, शक्ति एक ऐसा विज्ञान, शक्ति का उपयोग कैसे किया जाए, एर्गोनॉमिक्स जिसको हम इंग्लिश में कहते हैं, एर्गोनॉमिक्स, ERGONOMICS आप कह सकते हैं एक तरह से। एक आप शक्ति का यूनिट मान सकते हैं। किस तरह से इकोनॉमिकली आप उस शक्ति का इस्तेमाल करें, जैसे पैसे का आप इस्तेमाल करते हैं, आपके अंदर जो भी शक्ति है वो भी एक तरह से आपके लिए पैसा ही तो है। उसको आप खेल में व्यस्त कर दें, ख़राब कर दें, वेस्ट कर दें, या उसको आप काम में प्रयोग लाएं। एर्गोनॉमिक्स एक विज्ञान है, उसको आवश्यकता है, जिसको हर व्यक्ति के पास है, एंड उसको प्रयोग कैसे किया जाए, उसकी जो शक्ति है, एनर्जीज़ है, उसको कैसे काम में लाया जाए। जो भी काम आप करें उससे वो व्यवधान ना पड़े, काम सही हो। जो भी आपका वर्कर है, कर्मी है, उसको कम से कम शरीर पे नुकसान हो, काम भी हो। हम ये नहीं कहते कि बैठा रहे, काम करे, जितना हो सकता है करे, अपनी शक्ति का प्रयोग करे, लेकिन उसका शरीर पे दुरुपयोग ना हो, शरीर के ऊपर से नुकसान ना हो तो कम से कम हो। जो थकावट हो जाती है काम में, कभी कभी स्ट्रेस आ जाता है काम में, उतना ही हो, ये ना हो कि आदमी गिर जाए, चोट लग जाए, वो सब नहीं होना चाहिए। और ये पक्के रूप से ये आवश्यकताएं हैं जो होनी चाहिए। इसको आप नहीं कह सकते कि नहीं। अगर आप इस बात को नहीं मानेंगे तो आप गलत हैं। अपने आप से पूछिए, आपको अपने आप से पूछना होगा, इसके बिना कोई गुजारा नहीं है। और अच्छे गुणवत्ता के बिना, उसको गुणवत्ता को यूज़ में लाए बिना, एप्लीकेशन करे बिना आप आगे नहीं चल सकते, सही दिशा में आप नहीं जा सकते, ये भी आवश्यक है। सेफ्टी है पहली रिक्वायरमेंट होना चाहिए किसी भी योजना पे, योजना के हर काम में, हर एक्टिविटी में। और उसको सेफ्टी की सपोर्ट चाहिए, क्वालिटी की सपोर्ट चाहिए, दोनों चीज़ें चाहिए। अगर सेफ्टी हम नहीं रखेंगे, सुरक्षा नहीं रखेंगे, तो क्या होता है आप सोच सकते हैं। एक तो इसमें आपने जो भी करार किया, जो भी ठेका पे साइन किया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे, उसका ब्रीच हो गया, क्योंकि सेफ्टी आवश्यक है। ये बताना जरूरी नहीं होता कि सेफ्टी रखी जाए, सेफ्टी एक बेसिक पार्ट होता है। किसी को अधिकार नहीं है कि किसी को चोट दे दे, दर्द दे दे। किसी को अधिकार नहीं है कि दूसरे को बिना मतलब का दर्द दे दे, बिना आवश्यकता का। काम करने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप किसी को तंग करें, और किसी को अधिकार नहीं है कि आप गुणवत्ता को कंडम करें। आप कोई भी क्यों ना हो, छोटे या बड़े, किसी को कोई अधिकार नहीं है कि गुणवत्ता को गिराए। क्योंकि जो पैसा हम देते हैं सामान खरीदने के लिए, उसमें गुणवत्ता का पैसा भी देते हैं। हम केवल सामग्री का पैसा नहीं देते, सामग्री क्वालिटी की हो, उसमें गुण हो जो हम चाहते हैं, या जो आपने कहा हम देंगे वो उसमें होने चाहिए, क्योंकि हम उसकी पेमेंट भी आपको दे रहे हैं। जब भी हम क्रिया करते हैं कोई भी प्रोडक्ट का, वस्तु का, तो उसके पैसे जो देते हैं, उस पैसे में क्वांटिटी और क्वालिटी दोनों ही होती हैं। अगर सुरक्षा हम रखते हैं, सेफ्टी हम रखते हैं, तो दर्द नहीं होगा। लेकिन अगर सेफ्टी का ख्याल नहीं रखेंगे तो दर्द आवश्यक होगा। उसी तरह से क्वालिटी हम रखते हैं तो अच्छा होगा, क्वालिटी नहीं रखते हैं तो दुख होगा। क्वालिटी हर काम में आवश्यक है। अगर ऐसा आप नहीं सोचते तो आप गलत हैं। और ये इंजीनियर्स के हाथ में है, अभियंता के हाथ में है, कि गुणवत्ता अभियंताओं के हाथ में है, उनको इसे लागू करना होगा। इसके सिवाय कोई रास्ता नहीं है। आपको परिभाषित भी करना होगा कि क्वालिटी कहाँ तक चले, कहाँ तक लें। जो भी आप काम करते हैं उसमें आप व्याख्यान करते हैं कि ये काम हम ऐसे करेंगे, ऐसे होना चाहिए। उस व्याख्यान को आप इंग्लिश में स्पेसिफिकेशन बोलते हैं। हिंदी, इसके अलावा मैं नहीं जानता उसे क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में। हम इसे व्याख्यान बोल देते हैं कि हमने व्याख्या की है कि ये काम ऐसे होना चाहिए तकनीकी रूप से। अगर आप उसको कंप्लाई नहीं करते हैं, उसको कार्यान्वित नहीं करते हैं, तो आप गलत करते हैं। कोई भी गुणवत्ता हो, उसकी बहुत सारी रेंजेस होती हैं। ज़रूरी नहीं जो गुणवत्ता इस काम में है वो उस काम में भी होगी। कोई आवश्यक नहीं है कि इस प्रोडक्ट में हम जो आपको दे रहे हैं उसमें भी होगा। हर का हर अलग अलग होता है, जैसे मानव अलग अलग होता है। लेकिन जो भी हमने उसका व्याख्यान किया वैसी होनी चाहिए। जो भी हमने लिखा या बताया कि हम ऐसा करेंगे वो होना चाहिए। खाली लिखने से काम नहीं चलेगा, उसको होना भी चाहिए। और किसी भी क्वालिटी का अनलिमिटेड स्कोप नहीं होता है। एक लिमिट में हम रखते हैं, उसी हिसाब से उस पर खर्चा होता है बनाने में। और एक बात याद रखें, अगर आप क्वालिटी नहीं दे सकते, आप गुणवत्ता नहीं दे सकते, तो भविष्य नहीं है उस काम में। एक बार आप गलत करके लेगो को चला देंगे, दूसरी बार चला देंगे, लेकिन कौन कब तक चलेगा, ये बात भी समझनी चाहिए। आपका विकास अच्छा नहीं होगा, गंदा होगा, चोरों द्वारा होगा, डकैतों द्वारा होगा। और क्या अभियंता वर्ग चाहेगा कि वो गलत लोगों के हाथ का खिलौना हो? कोई भी नहीं चाहेगा, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ है। सब गलत लोगों के हाथ में भी खेल रहे हैं। भविष्य नहीं है अगर गुणवत्ता नहीं है। और जैसा दिया गया, व्याख्यान किया गया, आवश्यकता है वो मिलनी चाहिए हर हालत में। उसके लिए कोई क्षमा याचना नहीं हो सकती, ना की जाएगी। अगर गुणवत्ता फेल होती है, जो आवश्यक है कि ना फेल हो, लेकिन होती है। इसीलिए गुणवत्ता एक आवश्यक है। क्वालिटी इज ए मस्ट एंड मस्ट एंड मस्ट। ये बात अभियंताओं को समझनी होगी, इंजीनियर्स को समझना होगा कि क्वालिटी आवश्यक है, गुणवत्ता आवश्यक है। अगर आप इस चीज़ को नहीं आवश्यक समझते, नहीं मानते, स्पेशली अभियंता वर्ग और विश्व रूप से खास तौर से वास्तु वाले अभियंता, सिविल इंजीनियर्स जो मकान बनाते हैं, जो पुल बनाते हैं, जो सड़क बनाते हैं, जो सीवर लाइन बनाते हैं, वाटर लाइन बनाते हैं, जो बड़े बड़े प्लांट बनाते हैं, डैम बनाते हैं, कैनाल्स बनाते हैं, ऐसा कोई काम नहीं वो जो नहीं करते, क्योंकि वो सिविल इंजीनियर्स हैं। और पब्लिक की फैसिलिटीज़ में जहाँ भी होंगे वो सब वो करेंगे। चाहे वो सीवर लाइन काम हो, मैनहोल का काम हो, सोफेस का काम हो, सेप्टिक टैंक का काम हो, या आपके मकान बनाने का काम हो, या एयरपोर्ट भी क्यों ना हो, वो सब वास्तु विद्या वाले अभियंता, सिविल इंजीनियर्स का काम है। वो क्वालिटी को चेंज कर सकते हैं, गुणवत्ता को दे सकते हैं, वही दे सकते हैं। अदरवाइज नहीं तो गुणवत्ता हो नहीं सकती, आ नहीं सकती। सब कामों के लिए सिविल अभियंता उत्तरदायी है, और साथ में दूसरे अभियंता भी जो उनके साथ मिलकर आगे सर्विसेज देते हैं, सेवाएं देते हैं। जैसे मैकेनिकल के अभियंता, मशीन इंजीनियर्स, बिजली विद्युत के अभियंता, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर्स, और आईटी के अभियंता या और भी अभियंता जो साथ में काम करते हैं, उनके वो भी उतने ही उत्तरदायी हैं जितना सिविल इंजीनियर। बस अंतर केवल इतना है कि सिविल इंजीनियर शुरू से काम करता है और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आप कह सकते हैं समय के अनुसार, कार्य के अनुसार दूसरे अभियंता साथ में आते रहते हैं उसमें अपना योगदान देने के लिए। इसलिए सब मिलके ग्रुप के हिसाब से उत्तरदायी हैं काम की क्वालिटी देने के लिए, काम की गुणवत्ता देने के लिए। अगर इंजीनियर कैपेबल नहीं है, इंजीनियर काम में स्वस्थ नहीं है, स्वस्थ का मतलब उनकी कैपेसिटी नहीं है, उनकी कॉम्पिटेंसी नहीं है, उनकी आपके क्षमता नहीं है, सक्षम नहीं है वो उस इंजीनियरिंग को देने के लिए, क्वालिटी वाली इंजीनियरिंग को देने के लिए, फिर क्वालिटी रह नहीं सकती। ये ख़ास तौर से बताने के लिए मैंने कहा कि हमको डिज़ाइन भी कर रहे होते हैं और उसमें फैसले भी लेने होते हैं, सेफ्टी के बारे में, क्वालिटी के बारे में, गुणवत्ता के बारे में, सुरक्षा के बारे में। और जो भी हम क्वांटिटी लें दें वो रिलायबल होनी चाहिए आने वाले समय के लिए, काम करने के लिए, काम कराने के लिए। और जितना भी जीवन उसका होना है उतने जीवन में, चाहे वो 30 साल हो, 40 साल हो, वर्ष हो, कितने भी वर्ष हो, उसी प्रकार से जो हमने आशा की वो काम करना चाहिए। इसीलिए जो भी करार हम करते हैं ठेकेदारों से, जो भी एग्रीमेंट, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जिसको कहते हैं इंग्लिश में, वो साफ होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल क्लियर होना चाहिए, सब क्षमता होनी चाहिए उसमें। उसमें आप कह सकते हैं उसके अंदर ये सब दिया होना चाहिए कि सक्षमता है उसमें कि हम क्वालिटी, गुणवत्ता उसमें लेंगे साफ साफ, उसमें कोई ढिलाई नहीं। और जितने भी डिज़ाइंस के स्टेजेस हैं वो बिल्कुल साफ सुरक्षित होना चाहिए कि डिज़ाइन में ऐसा होना है, साइट पे ऐसा होना है, वर्क में ऐसा होना है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में ऐसा होना है, प्रोडक्शन में ऐसा होना है। ये सब ज़रूरी है क्योंकि डिज़ाइन बेस है कंस्ट्रक्शन का। और अगर डिज़ाइन आपका सही नहीं है, उससे काम सही तरह से नहीं हो सकता या समय ज़्यादा लगता है। ये सब भी सोचना डिज़ाइन अभियंताओं का काम है, ये सोचना ठेकेदार का भी काम है, ये सोचना इंजीनियर का भी काम है। क्योंकि हर जगह तालमेल ज़रूरी, संचार माध्यम ज़रूरी। बातें ही बातें करने से तो बात नहीं बनती है। आजकल बात करने का ज़माना ज़्यादा आ गया है। जिसको देखो मोबाइल पे घंटों लगा रहता है, कोई भी हो। जैसे मोबाइल ना हो गया हमारा सांस हो गया, हमारा जीवन हो गया। मोबाइल का उपयोग भी उतना ही होना चाहिए जितना आवश्यक है, उससे ज़्यादा गलत है। अगर हम वही समय क्वालिटी के बारे में सोचने में लगाएं, अच्छा काम करने के बारे में सोचने में लगाएं, तो क्वालिटी अच्छी आ सकती है। बोलने से तो काम नहीं चलता है दुनिया में, विश्व में। काम तो करने से चलता है। कहते हैं कि एक्सिस ऑफ एवरीथिंग इज़ बैड। ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा कोई भी चीज़ करना गलत होता है, उसी तरह से ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा बातें करना भी गलत होता है, ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा किसी पर विश्वास करना भी गलत होता है। और आपको अपने पर कंट्रोल रख के आगे चलना चाहिए। कौन क्या कहता है उसको छोड़िए, आप अपना उत्तरदायी जानते हैं, आपको उसमें आगे आना होगा। कोई भी काम करने के लिए जिम्मेदारी होती है। डिज़ाइन करें आप, कंस्ट्रक्शन करें आप, साइट पे करें, कहाँ भी करें, ठेकेदारी में करें, इंजीनियर का काम करें, हर काम को समझना चाहिए, उस काम करने के तरीके को, और वो किस तरह से हम कार्यान्वित करें, उसको बढ़ाने। इसमें कोई आपको कंसेशन नहीं मिलनी चाहिए, क्योंकि काम में किस बात की कंसेशन? पैसा दिया जा रहा है, विश्वास किया जा रहा है, तो काम तो गुणवत्ता से ही होगा। और जो नहीं कर सकता वो बाहर होगा। उसके लिए हमें काम करने के तरीके को लिखकर देना चाहिए, जिसको हम कहते हैं संचार। और लिखने के लिए पूरी सोचना चाहिए, जिसको कहते हैं तालमेल। ये काम हम कैसे करेंगे साइट पे, क्या कहते हैं स्टेटमेंट को। ऐसे स्टेटमेंट तैयार करने चाहिए नहीं, होने चाहिए, होंगे। जो बताए, एक बार फैसला हो जाए कि इस काम को हमने ऐसे करना है, और वो करना आपका जो भी गुणवत्ता है वो परिपूर्ण उतरना चाहिए। क्वालिटी पूरी आनी चाहिए, सेफ्टी पूरी आनी चाहिए। और जो भी आप उसमें सामग्री लगा रहे हैं, जो भी मशीन लगा रहे हैं, वही होनी चाहिए जिसकी परमिशन दी गई है, जो अप्रूव्ड है। जो भी डिटेल हो फॉर्मेट की, या आप अपना फॉर्मेट बना सकते हैं। प्रश्न वही उठता है कि सही काम होना चाहिए। बिना डेफिनेशन के, बिना परिभाषा के काम नहीं हो सकता। कौन सा सीक्वेंस में आपको डिज़ाइन करना है, कैसे आपको काम करना है, नहीं तो आपकी आउटपुट जो आएगी काम करने से उसका नुकसान होगा। आवश्यक है कि आप जो भी कार्य करें उसको लिख कर दें, ये काम ऐसे होना है। और बस तकनीकी रूप से, स्पेशली मैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रूप की बात नहीं कर रहा, प्रशासनिक की बात नहीं कर रहा, तकनीकी विज्ञान की बात कर रहा हूँ, तकनीकी कर्म की बात कर रहा हूँ। जब भी काम कर रहे हैं तकनीकी है वो, चाहे वो कोई भी काम हो, कंस्ट्रक्शन हो, प्रोसेस हो, निर्माण हो, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो, उसमें आप कह सकते हैं कोई भी क्रिया हो, वो उसी तरह से होनी चाहिए, वो साथ में आना चाहिए कि किस तरह से इसका स्टैंडर्ड है, किस तरह से मानक है, नहीं है। और इसलिए हमें समय का भी ख्याल रखना है, जो वापस नहीं आता, एक बार जाता है तो, और चला गया तो चला गया। कॉस्ट को हम ज़्यादा चेंज नहीं कर सकते, लिमिटेशंस के अंदर ही होती हैं, एस्केलेशन होती रहती हैं, लेकिन हमसे बचना होगा और रिस्क का ख्याल रखना होगा, क्योंकि रिस्क अगर हम नहीं समझ पाएंगे, हम नहीं देख पाएंगे कि क्या हमारे काम करने से रिस्क हो सकती है, तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, उसके नुकसान की भरपाई नहीं कर सकते। और अगर हम समझ जाएं कि रिस्क क्या है, तो उसको हम सोचकर उसका सॉल्यूशन निकाल सकते हैं अपने अनुभव के हिसाब से, अपने एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से। पहले ही हम उसका सॉल्यूशन निकाल सकते हैं, जिससे वो रिस्क ना रहे, बल्कि एक अवसर मिल जाए समझने का, आगे बढ़ने का। और जो भी अनुभवी नहीं होते, अभियंता जिनको अनुभव नहीं होता इस विषय में, वो एक तरह से कारगर सिद्ध नहीं हो सकते। इसीलिए काम करने के लिए हमको अपने मस्तिष्क की सोच का एक तूफान लाना होता है काम करने के लिए, जो भी हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन होती है उसको। और अगर हमें रिस्क समझ नहीं आती है अच्छी तरह से, उसका रिजोल्यूशन करना ज़रूरी है। उसको पूरी तरह से समझने के लिए समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है, नहीं तो रिस्क को कैसे रखें, कैसे खाएं, क्या करें, कैसे हैंडल करें, वो ज़रूरी है। और फिर आती है, जो भी काम हम कर रहे हैं वो रिलायबल होना चाहिए, सेफ़ होना चाहिए, सक्सेसफुल काम करने वाला होना चाहिए। जितने भी उसकी आवश्यकता है लाइफ में जो डिफ़ाइन कर रहे हैं, उतने समय के लिए काम करने वाला होना चाहिए। और जो भी उसमें आवश्यकताएं हैं रिसोर्सेज की, सूत्रों की, विज्ञान ज्ञान की, उस सब को देखना पड़ेगा। हमें सब समझना होगा, सारे प्रोसीजर्स को, मेथड्स को, इनका सोच समझने का तरीका हम जानते हैं। हर बात को एनालाइज करना होता है। एनालाइज का मतलब, जो भी आपकी प्रॉब्लम है, जब तक वो समझ ना आए उस पर सोचना होगा। एनालिसिस उसे ही कहते हैं। एक बार एनालिसिस समझ आ जाता है तो उसका सॉल्यूशन निकल सकता है। बहुत पुरानी बात नहीं है, करके देख लीजिए। इसमें आपको अपने मस्तिष्क का ख्याल रखना होगा, उस प्रॉब्लम में एंटर करना होगा, प्रवेश करना होगा, और वहाँ से जो भी आपको हल मिले उसको बाहर लाना होगा। एनालिसिस एक आवश्यकता है, और फिर जितने भी एनालिसिस आपने किए उनको जोड़ना होगा, उनको जोड़ के आगे चलना होगा। जो भी हल आपने निकाले किसी भी समस्या के, उन हल को लेके आगे चलना होगा। इसके लिए ज़रूरत क्या है? सोचना, सोचते रहना, हमेशा के लिए नहीं। जब तक लगता है आपको कि बात, समस्या पूरी तरह समझ आ गई, और एक बार समस्या समझ आ गई तो आप आगे तो बढ़ेंगे ही। वही सोच, वही शक्ति बन जाएगी आपकी। वही सोच की शक्ति आपको असली शक्ति देगी काम करने की और हर चीज़ प्राप्त करने की, जिसका वैल्यू का कोई हिसाब नहीं। और एक यही रास्ता है किसी भी हल को प्राप्त करने के लिए। सोचना एक उसका ग्राउंड है, सोचना उसका बेस है, और सोचने से हम आगे काम करते हैं, कंटेम्पलेट करते हैं, जिसका पाना आवश्यक है। इंजीनियरिंग की हम बात करते हैं। इंजीनियरिंग डिज़ाइन इंजीनियरिंग में आता है, उस डिज़ाइन को वास्तविक रूप देना भी इंजीनियरिंग में आता है। हम एप्लीकेशन कह सकते हैं उसको कंस्ट्रक्शन कह सकते हैं, निर्माण कह सकते हैं। डिज़ाइन को भी हम नॉलेज की एप्लीकेशन कह सकते हैं, और इन सब इफेक्ट्स को हम इंजीनियरिंग कहते हैं। इंजीनियरिंग मीन्स अभियांत्रिकी, और जब भी हम इंजीनियरिंग करते हैं, बिजी रहते हैं, इंजीनियरिंग में व्यस्त रहते हैं किसी भी पोजीशन में, उसको इंजीनियरिंग बिजनेस कहते हैं। बिजी इन इंजीनियरिंग, व्यस्त हैं आप अभियांत्रिकी में, और अभियांत्रिकी का मतलब है मस्तिष्क का सोच। किस तरह से सोचकर, जो सोचा, जो ख्यालों में सपनों में आया, उसको कैसे कार्यान्वित करें, पहले डिज़ाइन के रूप में और फिर काम के रूप में, फिज़िकल वर्क के रूप में। और जो भी हमने सोचा कि हम इसको ऐसा करेंगे और उस गुणवत्ता को हम नहीं ला पा रहे उसमें, तो उस काम को हम कहते हैं सही नहीं है ये काम वैसा नहीं है जैसा हमने सोचा था, गिरा हुआ काम है और हम इसको नहीं मानते। ये कोई भी ऐसा काम करना जो गुणवत्ता नहीं रखता, वो इंजीनियरिंग के अगेंस्ट है, इंजीनियरिंग के विरुद्ध है, नेचर के विरुद्ध है। क्योंकि हम जो मटेरियल यूज़ करते हैं वो प्रकृति हमें देती है, जितना भी नेचुरल मटेरियल है वेस्ट हो जाता है। नेचुरल मटेरियल, प्राकृतिक सामग्री जो भी हमारी है वो सही तरह से प्रयोग नहीं आती, वेस्ट हो जाती है, और उसमें कुछ भी हमें हासिल नहीं होता, गेन नहीं होता। और जब ऐसी हालत है, हम स्पेसिफिकेशन से, क्वालिटी से काम नहीं कर सकते, हम नहीं उस पर चिपक सकते, नहीं रुक सकते, ऐसे इंजीनियर को हम इंजीनियर नहीं कह सकते। हम कहेंगे कि या तो ऐसा इंजीनियर, ऐसा अभियंता लापरवाही है, लापरवाही से काम करता है, या वो नहीं ध्यान देता, नहीं समझता क्या करना है, वो उसको छोड़ देता है, या उसकी क्षमता ही नहीं है कि वो आगे चल सके, समझ सके। क्षमता बहुत ज़रूरी होती है। क्षमता कह सकते हैं आप, साथ में आप ये भी कह सकते हैं कि सक्षम नहीं है, और इसीलिए वो ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा फालतू का सोर्स है। ऐसे सोर्स को इंजीनियरिंग से हटा देना चाहिए। ऐसे सोच की हमें आवश्यकता नहीं है। अगर हमें क्वालिटी लेनी है, गुणवत्ता लेनी है, नहीं तो हम क्वालिटी प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते, और हमारा प्रोडक्ट जो भी होगा, हमारा सामान जो भी होगा बनाया, उसको मान्यता नहीं मिलेगी सही रूप से, क्योंकि जो भी यूज़ करेगा उसको उसमें प्रॉब्लम आएंगी, समस्याएं आएंगी। इसलिए क्वालिटी की आवश्यकता के चेक्स होते हैं, उन चेकों को आवश्यक करना होता है। अगर हम वो चेक नहीं करते, हम दूसरों को दोष नहीं दे सकते, क्योंकि ये हमारा गुणवत्ता को प्राप्त करने का फेलियर है। और अभियांत्रिकी का मतलब होता है क्वालिटी। वो काम जो भी करें क्वालिटी से करें, गुणवत्ता से करें, और उसमें हमेशा सुधार करते रहें। ऐसा कोई रास्ता नहीं है कि जो भी हमने क्वालिटी, गुणवत्ता डिफ़ाइन की, जो भी व्याख्यान किया उसको ना प्राप्त कर पाएँ। वो एक ज़रूरी है, प्राप्त करना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो हमने जो भी काम किया, जो भी काम हम करते हैं वो असफल होगा, उसे पुनः करना होगा, दोबारा करना होगा। अभियंता वर्ग, इंजीनियर्स समस्याओं को हल करने के लिए होते हैं, वो विकास करने वाले होते हैं, वो बदलाव के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होते हैं, प्रतिनिधि होते हैं। बदलाव भी उनके हाथ में है, विकास के रूप में, समाज के स्टेटस के रूप में। और कहा जाए तो कोई भी अभियंता, कोई भी इंजीनियर एक जंगल को, एक रेगिस्तान को एक शहर बना सकता है, रहने का शहर या औद्योगिक शहर, जिसके लिए क्वालिटी, गुणवत्ता और सुरक्षा बहुत जुड़ा हुआ रोल करते हैं, जुड़ा हुआ काम करते हैं, हर सोच से, हर कंसिडरेशन से। और अंत में कह सकते हैं कि हम कभी भी क्वालिटी से कंप्रोमाइज़ नहीं, इंजीनियर्स द्वारा कोई कंप्रोमाइज़ नहीं, कोई फैसला नहीं कि चलो मान लेते हैं। और यही बात पब्लिक की होनी चाहिए, सामान्य जन की होनी चाहिए कि हम क्वालिटी के बिना कुछ भी स्वीकार नहीं करेंगे। मैं समझता हूँ इतना ही सोच लें तो हम काफ़ी आगे जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये डेफिनेशन वैसी डेफिनेशन नहीं है कि क्वालिटी की आप किताब में ढूंढेंगे, पुस्तक में ढूंढेंगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। ये डेफिनेशन एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से है, अनुभव के हिसाब से है। मुझसे अधिक अनुभव आप में भी होगा। बड़े बड़े अभियंता हैं पूरे विश्व में, हमारे देश में, भारत में, इंडिया में, और मैं बहुत छोटा। लेकिन सोच की बात है, कुछ लोग बचपन से ही इग्नोर करते हैं और कुछ लोग नहीं इग्नोर करते हैं। क्वालिटी इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इशू. We cannot take it for granted, and if we take it for granted means we take ourselves for granted. There can be nothing as such. Quality is quality, and that requires to be achieved in whatever way, come what may. You have to achieve quality. If you can't achieve quality, you are not an engineer. I would not say you are an engineer in that case. No one engineer who cannot achieve quality, who cannot keep safety up. Safety is very important for us, because safety means you have responsibility of everyone working with you. Whoever is working with you, who works with you, you are liable to be prosecuted, you are liable to be acted upon if you can't take care of safety of people. Because you are educated, when you are an engineer, you have certain specific knowledge. You can say that you are above them. They are your children, they are your brothers, they are your family. If you consider your family, take care of them. It doesn't cost much, not at all, it doesn't cost much. If you think this costs much, no, I don't agree with that. That's very important point, that responsibility of safety, responsibility of design, responsibility of execution, responsibility of correct work, responsibility of, you can say, quality maintenance and quality production, responsibility of correct communication, responsible coordination among all, among technicalities of every work, everything must be considered together. It's not means I'm speaking so many words, I'm using so many terms, but when you work, there's no need. You cannot say, I'm now doing coordination. No, not at all. It doesn't matter. Everything moves in one go. It's very simple. Once you start that, you can understand that very well. Yes, it's difficult for certain budding engineers who come new in this profession, and they think it's difficult, but I don't think so. Those who have been working for long, it's something difficult for them, not at all. That's why I put all these topics in this, all these subsections in this topic. For example, I say civil field engineering means it's field engineering means field engineering. It doesn't matter. It's a design engineering. Obviously, whatever to be done in field is the field of design. Design is a part of field. Construction is a part of field. Same way, contracting is a part of field. Supervision is a part of field. Or you can say contract claims are part of field. It's field. Somewhere field doesn't mean site. Field doesn't mean site. Field means professional scope. And when I say civil, civil means for everyone. Civil means civil society. Civil means even army works are civil because of certain civil requirements. Camping of army. I'm not talking of weapons, I'm talking of facilities. Same way, temporary work it may be, or you can say preparatory work it may be, permanent work it may be. Everywhere some description is given, some explanation is given. You have to achieve this. And we decide that ourselves. Nobody comes separately and say, it depends upon budget provisions, it depends upon what we have to do. And we decide the scope of that. And of course, engineers have to decide it, owners have to decide it, designers have to decide it. It depends on what you have to do. But we have to see that quality means specifications, what you have to do. And safety is, of course, for everybody. Safety doesn't mean safety during working only, safety during construction only. Safety means safety in future also. Whatever work you are going to do, whatever design you do, means it should be safe forever. Forever means for durability of product for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years. It should serve safe, as I said in definition of reliability. It should be safe for that period. Quality cannot be, means quality is during work, but quality safety means safety of workers, safety of user, both. Safety is not limited to workers, that is temporary safety, that is safety during construction, safety during processing, safety during, you can say, industrial work. But we take care of that when this comes into use, and that is in operation at that time. That should be safe. It should be safe for those who use that product, use this structure. It should be safe for them. If it collapses, means where is safety then? If it deflects, where is safety then? And that's why question is, safety is long process and quality works for long. Safety is forever and quality is also forever, because if work is based on quality, it shall work accordingly. If it's not based on quality, it shall not work accordingly. So we have to consider such issues. And we can say designs and constructions are therefore very much integrated. Construction, people And to design people, of course, there is a difference in educational system. There is a difference in capability. There is a difference in competency. But team is one. Designs are like leaders, philosophical leaders. They give us something which we cannot do ourselves, while construction people do something which they cannot themselves. There's a difference. Construction is not layman job actually. People say it's layman job, but I don't think they know construction. Construction is very much technical. Construction is dependent on what knowledge you have, how you have to do it. That's a method. That's a way. You have to know everything about every item, from excavation to finishing, complete finishing and handover. Whatever processes are there, those are involved. Those are very significant, very important, and we must respect them. And if possible, we have to see ourselves how we chart out that one. There may be hundreds and hundreds of activities on every project, particularly in buildings, in plants. We'll find a list of activities which may be different for one area and different for other area. It varies depending on requirements. There are various soils, various areas, soils may be different. And that's very important point, because ultimately it is soil that is the dominating factor. Soil material is a very dominant factor in engineering, in whatever engineering, because soil varies in its properties. So soil is never constant, it's never uniform for every foundation. And that's why we have to be serious about. We cannot say, okay, in this area soil is that, in 10, 100 meters from here, same, cannot say that and test it. So contracts also play their roles. Contract, it's a text, you may say, but it contains solve. It contains actions. It contains, reactions. It contains what you have to do. It contains means what's your payment. It contains the quantum of work. It contains the time of work. It contains what's the status of quality, what's state of safety, and you can say it's based on explicit communication, understanding, analytical lead, and also coordination is required, which is, you can say, unknown engineering, but practical engineering. Nobody can teach you coordination. Some may teach you communication, but ultimately it's you who has to learn. You have to learn yourself. Self-learning in communication. Maybe I'm not talking of grammar or translation in that. You have to use parts of a speech, or you have to use present or past, future tenses. I'm not talking about that. But, intention must be clear. What's being given to me in form of communication, what communication I'm receiving, it should pass a message to me in explicit terms. No confusion, no mix-up. And that's called quality communication. It should not be very explanatory, but it should not be very precise as well. Because I want to know what you want to say. Whatever you want to tell me, I want to know that. And of course, I don't like excessive talking, believe me, because talking can never be a good communication. You cannot believe in talking all time. Because if you talk 6, 7, 8 hours a day, you can't work. We should not forget that. Excessive talking injures your mind. Excessive talking kills your memory. Say you talk 50 times daily. You talk 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour to everyone. So you can't remember anything. Remember, neither you can remember, that person can remember who was on the other end of talk. And everybody is impacted upon by that. Yes, communication is very important, and mobile is very important, but we should not forget letters or communication by other means such as mails, emails. These are really worth, because first of all, clear message is given to you, and if there is some confusion, there is some mix-up, question can be raised, query can be raised. I am not able to understand this, please give me more information about this, or I could not understand your communication. I want more explanation or more input. And nobody would mind that, because of course it takes some time. When you write message through mail, it takes some time, I agree with that. But when you talk same thing again, means why? In profession, I'm not talking of, means written statement is much better than mobile statement. After all, Whoever talks to whoever, it's for work. It's not personal family issue. There's no family issue. There's no personal issue. It is professional issue. We should be very careful about that. If you talk many times same thing and you forget, then what's purpose? Tell me. It's not question of that I'll get evidence from you by your mail and I'll show you. It's not question that. Problems are always there on projects. Always on projects, because there are so many activities on every project. Every activity is very important. But it's also true that nothing can be given in writing all times. If I instruct someone, it doesn't matter I should give in writing. Okay, there are certain issues which can be handled on site by instructions, by speaking, by even by disputes, or by scolding, or by requesting. But I'm talking of coordination where technicalities are involved. If you don't understand technicality very well, if my site people, those frontline leaders, I should say leaders because they lead me, I don't lead them. They lead me on site, frontline leaders. They can be site engineer, foreman, general foreman, charge hand, whosoever are they, or workers. They are my leaders for construction. I'm not their leaders. I'm just director. I'm directing them, do like this, and they have to do it. Means my direction should be clear. If I'm not clear, I cannot provide them, cannot message to them clearly. How can, means if I lose something in my mind, I can't communicate 100%. They will receive maybe whatever I communicate. Out of that 100%, they may receive 60%, 50%. And they may communicate to them. I say something to foreman, a general foreman, or engineer, site engineer. That person may not understand 100% if I only speak. And that may say lapse of 30%. So my 70% message has gone for implementation, and then that person may give further, down half. So maybe says 40% has gone to worker. This means real message has not gone, defective message has gone. And moreover, I cannot stand there all time. That's also not true. Even site person cannot stand all time. So it's better if we communicate something in a page, in some writing, or in some other form. Or if you can do it, you can do in descriptive form. That's not practically possible. Means if it's okay video calling, this is not workable on sites. So what I'm saying is, if we have to be very serious about that, how to communicate with people, how to link with them with our information, that's more important. And we cannot keep information in files. We have to open files and see. Before work is done, we have to do planning, maybe 4 days, 5 days at once. We have to set out our working time. We keep a watch on work, and you see what shall happen in next week time or 4 or 5 days. And accordingly we have to we have to find information, and we have to provide that information to our workers, otherwise, forget quality. Even work cannot be done rightly. We cannot even know what's going to happen, what's going to work. So that's why it's a very important point. I can say that quality can never be and must not be compromised by engineers and public. And for that, it's very difficult task. Engineering is very difficult. In fact, it may be theoretical engineering, it may be tutorial engineering, it may be practical engineering, or it may be works engineering. Because details are involved, and the details are technical. These are not ordinary details. It's not management, no. Management education is different. That is policy. That's something else. Means our management and technical management, which everybody cannot understand. Even MBS can't understand this. Or you can say others can't understand this. Those people in administration, they can never understand what's technical work, how it can be handled. Yes, of course, it's not question of standard of language, but question of standard of realization. How we can realize work, it's very important. And we are there for work. We are not there to hoot or to shoot. Work is our responsibility. Everyone works. And we have to spend material. We have to spend money on all resources. We work accordingly. This point cannot be forgotten. And these materials never belong to us. Even if we pay money, these are not our materials, because we cannot produce materials Materials, you can say raw materials that we receive, we get from nature, from earth. Basically, we can't pay for them, but we use those materials. In construction, we use, in processing, we use everywhere. Even water is not our material. So we can say that it is something that we get from nature and we use it for our work. And we are also nature born, every one of us. Everybody is natural product. So it is nature that plays, that gives role in engineering. Indirectly it's nature, because nature itself, universe and universes itself and themselves are part of engineering. Nature engineered itself. God, whoever God may be, God created this universe. God created solar system. God created universes, or whatever we know, skies, earth, all planets. Every work is a work of God, and we cannot question its quality because it's very perfect system. You can see that it has been working for millenniums and millenniums, and you can say, I don't know, it's millenniums or whatever is used. In crores and crores years, the system has been working. So you can consider factor of reliability from existing universe. If what's that means, if that universe has been created, was created by God. So what we are doing, if we compare that work, our quality system, our work system, our engineering, I think we are we are non-existent even. In fact, we are non-existent. In engineering, we don't understand fully medical science, so we are non-existent. In thoroughly understanding medical world, that should be there. And reason being that we have not been able to understand till now. It has been more than 2 years, around 2 years, since Corona or COVID-19 played with world, still playing badly. Because these references are very significant from viewpoint of understanding. And that's reason means it's not easy. People say, oh, engineering is no good, go to management. They think like that. Because point of concentration, point of focus, everybody is money. If you think money is end of life, okay, it's up to you. If money is your target, if money is your focus, a milestone only, I have to get package, that's why I'm doing engineering. And if I don't get package, I shift to management or I shift to IT. That is general tendency, which is very bad. You cannot measure your capability, your efficiency in terms of money. Of course, money is one point of, one criteria to put into consideration, to bring into consideration, but it is not every criteria. Don't forget that your body, for your body, neither your parent paid any money, and natural agencies that you have been using as a human being, nobody is paying anything to nature. It's all free. So there is no way that nature desires that you should think of money all time, because it is value. Money is not value of your work. It's just a compensation, you can say. Because this money measurement, there is a money reference only. Otherwise, the world is yours. Economy is fixed. Nobody can change it. Economy comes from lithosphere, or you can say solid part of earth. While earth has solid part and air part, solid part plus air part is called earth, and lithosphere is solid part and air is, you can say, other part. So this is very small planet on which we have been living, and we should respect that. And if we respect that, we should respect system, because it's a part of system and it is working, it has been working very powerfully, qualitatively, since it was created. I don't know when it was created and nobody knows, but I know it is existing. I know that solar system is existing. Everybody knows it. It's working perfectly. So what do we learn from that? We have to learn from that teacher. That is universe. That teacher is not visible, but that teacher is effective. It's like electric supply. We do not know where is electric supply, but when you touch it or you use in the appliance, there's electric work. And if you touch electric, it means you'll shocked. You'll be shocked, you'll be shocked to that. So that's why I say you have to think of that way. If I always count myself in terms of money, how much I earn, in fact, we don't earn. It's abuse of word. It's abuse of power. What is earning? You cannot earn anything here except you store it. Simply saying, of course you work, I don't say don't work. Work for welfare of earth. Work for welfare of system. If you think I am rich, I am most rich in world, I have got this much wealth, then I think it's a stupidity. It's not yours. You got it through, did you work hard alone? If somebody says, I have got this much, I am number one. Yes, you are number one, but not in yourself. You are a blessed person, you got number one status. But what did you do yourself? Did you work hard on that? You used your wealth and expanded that wealth, profiled it, and you thrived on that. So this is not your achievement. But still wealth is there. You have no control on that. God doesn't permit you. You take with you. So how it's your wealth? Can you take it with you? That's my question. It's very spiritual question, very philosophical question, but it's real question. In engineering, what is wealth? It's natural, material-based wealth. It's not your wealth. We have burnt so much. We have used so much material from earth. And that material has caused all pollution. We are also responsible for pollution, every one of us. We are responsible for temperature rise. We are responsible for carbon dioxide accumulation in air. We are responsible for methane accumulation in air. We are responsible for all impurities in air. Now pollution by plastics. You can say what's happening. Even your COVID-based materials have gone in billions and billions of tons into waste of plastic. Waste means it augmented your pollution. So what did you do? You impacted on nature. It's you, it's myself, everyone who impacted on nature unexpectedly without even thinking. And we are responsible for that. So you should be paid or you should be trenched. Tell me. Is it not our fault? Is it not fault of our society that we have spoiled this earth? What sort of engineering is that? That's why I say life and engineers are related. Life, of course, it's different, but it's related to our existence. Development doesn't mean you break earth. Development doesn't mean you break earth and steal earth material. In fact, we are stealing. We are robbers. We don't want to see earth. We want to destroy it. And it's a gradual destruction of earth. Gradual. It may take many hundred years mostly when the earth become out of balance, out of equilibrium. So temperature is one result. There may be many more. Maybe sometimes you won't be able to respire. The stage can come. I can't respire. I can't breathe. What does it mean? If you cannot breathe, shall you survive? How many % people shall survive? So we have to think of quality. Our bad quality work, our greed, our avarice thinking has led us to current situation where we are no more than jokers, I should say. All are jokers. Really speaking, we are all jokers and we should be very shameful of that. We are all jokers and it's our fault. What to say about that? So it's really, for me, it's not good at all, not at all good. I am just speaking because it's better to be clear about something. It's better to be clear, and we have to understand everything in terms of engineering. How should we work? what should be our role. That is very important part of engineering, and we had to discuss, in fact, contracts, and we were discussing that one in somewhere in this system. I think it was labor laws had gone, this had gone, advance warning has gone, test and completion also has gone, everybody's work has gone, retesting, testing, failure, etc., variation, adjustments, value, yes, this I think we are here. Variation and adjustments, we are here. Variation, we know, if you vary from a fixed figure to somewhere else, there's nothing fixed and some extra is given, or you can say from scope of work something is omitted, or into scope of work something is added, addition, or you can say omission or addition. These are basis of variations and adjustments. We understand very well. It's very common, means nothing to explain like a kid. It's common sense that whatever is given to you, if you change that one by whatever way, for good or for bad, it's called variation, means variables are there. Just like we say in coordinate geometry or in some other mathematical form, there are some constants and there are some variables. We know that something is variable and something is constant. Constant can never change, but variable can change. And right to vary is one part here. हमारा अधिकार है, हम वैरी करें, ये अधिकार है, right है. So it can be said that variations may be initiated by employer under variation procedure at whatever time before issue of taking over सर्टिफिकेट फॉर वर्क्स. आप एम्प्लॉयर हैं, आप पार्टी वन हैं, आपका प्रोजेक्ट है, आपका वर्क है, आपको अधिकार है उसको वैरी करने का. कभी भी कर सकते हैं आप, काम समाप्त होने से पहले किसी भी काम में. वेरिएशंस में बी इनिशिएटेड बाय एम्प्लॉयर अंडर वेरिएशन प्रोसीजर एट वट एवर टाइम before issue of taking over certificate for works. Other than as stated in clause failure to remedy defects, variation shall not comprise variation shall not comprise omissions of whatever work. Variation shall not comprise omission of any work which is to be carried out by employer or by others unless अदरवाइज एग्रीड बाय पार्टीज. कोई भी चेंज, कोई भी वेरिएशन काम नहीं करेगी, बेशक ओमिशन क्यों ना हो, जब तक कि वो दोनों पार्टी वन, पार्टी टू, एम्प्लॉयर एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, जब तक वो दोनों उस बात को न मान लें. अदर देन एज स्टेटेड इन फेलियर टू रेमेडी डिफेक्ट्स क्लॉज, वेरिएशन शैल नॉट कंप्राइज ओमिशन ऑफ एनी वर्क which is to be carried out by employer or by others unless otherwise agreed by parties. Contractor shall be bound by each variation. Contractor shall be bound by each variation instructed under variation by instruction clause and shall execute variation with due expedition and without delay unless contractor promptly gives a notice to employer stating with detailed supporting particulars. जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है वो वेरिएशन से जो भी इंस्ट्रक्ट की जाती है उससे बंधा है इंस्ट्रक्शन द्वारा, और उसको वो करेगा, कार्यान्वित करेगा विद ड्यू एक्सपेडिशन और बिना किसी देरी के. यदि कॉन्ट्रैक्टर नोटिस देता है एम्प्लॉयर को कि सपोर्ट साथ में हो, वो अलग बात है. कॉन्ट्रैक्टर शैल बी बाउंड बाय ईच वेरिएशन. कॉन्ट्रैक्टर शैल बी बाउंड बाय ईच वेरिएशन इंस्ट्रक्टेड under variation by instruction clause. I'm not naming number because number is not important. Variation by instruction and shall execute variation with due expedition and without delay unless contractor promptly gives a notice to employer stating with detailed supporting particulars that what are those? Varied work. Varied work was unforeseeable, having regard to scope and nature of work described in employer's requirement. भाई हमको जो आप वेरिएशन मांग रहे हैं, जो दे रहे हैं ये काम चेंज करो, हमने ऐसा सोचा नहीं था, हमने ऐसा समझा नहीं था, क्योंकि ये आपके रिक्वायरमेंट्स में है ही नहीं। एक तो ये कंडीशन हो सकती है। वेरिड वर्क वाज अनफोर्सिएबल, हैविंग रिगार्ड टू स्कोप and nature of works described in employer's requirements. Contractor cannot readily obtain goods required for variation. Contractor cannot readily obtain goods required for variation. It will adversely affect contractor's ability. It will adversely affect contractor's ability to comply with health and safety obligations and or subclause protection of environment. It will have an adverse impact on achievement of schedule of performance guarantees. It may adversely affect contractor's obligation to complete works so that they shall be fit for purpose for which they are intended under contractor's general obligations. ये नोटिस इनके बारे में अगर देता है कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, क्या है वो? भाई हमें ये तो दिखा नहीं था, सोचा नहीं था कि आप ये काम चाहेंगे चेंज करना, क्योंकि आपके रिक्वायरमेंट में, आपके स्कोप में ये नहीं था, या हमें ये मटेरियल मिलेगा नहीं आसानी से, ये मटेरियल मिलने में दिक्कत आएगी जो वेरिएशन में आप मांग रहे हैं, और ये हमारी शक्ति को, हमारी कैपेबिलिटी को अफेक्ट करेगा, हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी को अफेक्ट करेगा, या ये एनवायरनमेंट के फेवर में नहीं है, ये कंडीशन हो सकती है, या हमारी परफॉर्मेंस गारंटी को अफेक्ट करेगा जो हमने दी है आपको, एडवर्स इम्पैक्ट डालेगा जो भी हमें प्राप्त करना है, परफॉर्मेंस गारंटी वैसी नहीं रहेगी, और ये हमारी ड्यूटी को, जो काम करने की ड्यूटी है उसको अफेक्ट करेगा, क्योंकि इससे जिस पर्पस के लिए काम हो रहा है वो पूरा नहीं होगा, उसमें दिक्कत आएगी। ये कुछ बातें हैं जिसके लिए कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ऑब्जेक्ट कर सकता है। ऑब्जेक्ट का मतलब नोटिस दे सकता है, ऑब्जेक्ट करने का अधिकार तो नहीं है। प्रॉम्प्टली आफ्टर रिसीविंग दिस नोटिस, ऐसा नोटिस मिलने के बाद, प्रॉम्प्टली आफ्टर रिसीविंग दिस नोटिस, एम्प्लॉयर शैल रिस्पॉन्ड बाय giving a notice to contractor, cancelling, confirming or varying instruction. Instruction so confirmed or varied shall be taken as an instruction under variation by instruction. ऐसा नोटिस देने के बाद कॉन्ट्रैक्टर द्वारा अगर एम्प्लॉयर फटाफट एक्शन लेता है उस पर और जवाब देता है उसका, या तो मैं कैंसिल कर रहा हूँ, या मैं कंफर्म कर रहा हूँ, या मैं इसको वैरी कर रहा हूँ, फिर मैं चेंज कर रहा हूँ, उसी के हिसाब से आगे चलेगा। वेरिएशन की बात है, इसमें पैसा कट भी सकता है, पैसा मिल भी सकता है, लेकिन वो भी कुछ लिमिट में होता है। असल में कई बार होता क्या है, वी जस्ट टेक आउट सम स्कोप ऑफ वर्क फ्रॉम दैट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, और वी कैन रिप्लेस सम अदर वर्क, or we can say okay, we don't want this part, we can remove some part from that project, or we can add also, both is are there. So variations you cannot avoid, in fact you cannot avoid it. To some percent it is admissible, because when project was designed, maybe it was say many months back or years back, or there is a technological problem, we did not understand that time what was updated technology, and we designed based on previous technology, and that has been a part of bid, but later on we thought that whatever machines are available in market, whatever equipments are available in market, those relate to new technology, and in that case we cannot get obsolete machines. Nobody wants to install obsolete equipment, obsolete vessels. So that's the reason that to keep up, to meet current requirement, sometimes variations are acceptable. There's no way out, because if you use old machine which is below standards, it won't perform way you wish, or it should be performed efficiently. As you see, more than 99% reliability there should be, it won't do that. That's why omissions or additions may be acceptable sometimes, but within limits. Nobody wants to change something done today. Within a couple of months you bring another vessel. That's not possible. It's just heavy amount, and in fact processing speed is affected. Your annual turnover, annual production is affected, and it's not easy. So in that case variations etc. are admitted. So then we come to value engineering. This is very important part, and of course it's very much famous, very much popular about value engineering. And value engineering is not just value, it's something different. Value engineering is, we can say, a different world, though it's not defined in contracts, but it's very important item. Value engineering, it can be understood by various ways, and I think we may say value engineering is a systematic method to improve value of goods or products and services by using examination of functions. Value as defined is ratio of function to cost. Value can therefore be manipulated by either improving function or reducing cost. So you can say it's something very important. Value engineering, if I see here, let's say I'm just going to here in Wikipedia. Value engineering is a system, VE, it's written VE is a systematic method to improve value of goods or products and services by using an examination of function. Value as defined is ratio of function to cost. Value can therefore be manipulated by either improving function or reducing cost. 2 points are there. Either improve function of that good or machine or product, or reduce its cost. It's primary tenet of value engineering that basic functions be preserved and not be reduced as a consequence of pursuing value improvement. Term value management is sometimes used as synonym of value engineering, and both promote planning and delivery of projects with improved performance. Reasoning behind value engineering is as follows. What is reasoning? If marketers expect a product to become practically or stylistically obsolete within a specific length of time, they can design it to only last for that specific lifetime. Products could be built with higher grade components, but with value engineering they are not, because this would impose an unnecessary cost on manufacturer, and to a limited extent also an increased cost on purchaser. Value engineering will reduce these costs. A company typically use least expensive components that satisfy products' lifetime projections at a risk of product and company reputation. Due to very short lifespans, however, which is often the result of this value engineering technique, planned obsolescence has become associated with product deterioration and inferior quality. Vance once claimed this practice gave engineering as a whole a bad name, as it directed creative engineering energies towards short-term market ends. But we have to think it means value engineering is sometimes taught within project management, industrial engineering, or architecture body of knowledge as a technique in which value of a system's output is superficially optimized by distorting a mix of performance and costs. It's based on analysis investigating system equipment, facilities, services, and supplies for providing necessary functions at superficial low life cycle cost. While meeting misunderstood, while meeting misunderstood requirement targets performance, reliability, quality, and safety. In most cases, practice identifies and removes necessary functions of value expenditures, thereby decreasing capability of manufacturer or their customers. What this practice regards providing necessary functions of value or expenditures such as equipment maintenance and relationships. So there are so many points. You cannot just stick to one. Means it defines every writer defines something else. We are not going into history. So there is one definition is Investopedia. Let me see what it says. There is another definition of value engineering. I'm just trying to refer to you certain definitions which are given by others, not by me. I think it differently, but let's say what is value engineering is a systematic, organized component. Value engineering is systematic and organized approach. Value engineering is systematic, organized approach to providing necessary functions in a project at lowest cost. Value engineering promotes substitution of materials and methods with less expensive alternatives without sacrificing functionality. It is focused solely on functions of various components and materials rather than their physical attributes. Value engineering is also called value analysis, but I don't agree with this anyway. This is a definition given by Adam Baron on site investopedia.com. Value engineering is systematic. Okay, now understanding value engineering. Value engineering is a review of new or existing products during design phase to reduce costs and increase functionality to increase value of product. So that's not, I'm not, why to reduce, we are speaking regarding quality. So let's go somewhere else and see what we can get from that. Then value engineering, okay, value engineering Wikipedia, what's value of engineering? No, it's not value engineering, it's function oriented systematic team approach and study to provide value of a product. It says investin.org, what says investin.org, it says what is value engineering, and it gives us the input. Let us see what it says. Value engineering is a function oriented systematic team approach and study to provide value in a product, system, or service. Often, this improvement is focused on cost reduction. However, other important areas such as customer perceived quality, see, it's something important. However, other important areas such as customer perceived quality and performance are also of paramount importance in value equation. Value engineering techniques can be applied to whatever product, process, procedures, systems, or service in whatever kind of business or economic activity, including healthcare, governance, construction, industry, and service sector. Value engineering focuses on value characteristics which are deemed most important from customer point of view. Value engineering is a powerful methodology. It's a powerful methodology for solving problems and or reducing costs while maintaining or improving performance and quality requirements. Value engineering can be achieved impressive savings. Value engineering can achieve impressive savings much greater than what is possible through conventional cost reduction exercise, even when cost reduction is objective of task. What are benefits of value engineering? Value engineering helps your organization in lowering O&M cost, improving quality management, improving resource efficiency, simplifying procedures, minimizing paperwork, lowering staff cost, increasing procedural efficiency, optimizing construction expenditures, developing value attitudes in staff, competing more successfully in marketplace. Value engineering helps you to learn how to improve your career skills, separate symptoms and problems, solve root cause problems and capture opportunities, become more competitive by improving benchmarking process, take command of powerful you can say, take command of, I just may have a print out of this so that you can see that also. It's a little better than before. I want to show it to you also. It's better because you can read it yourself, and I think that's much better than not to read. it's a glimpse of this. You'll see for this video, it's not for future use. You can say that it's come out, and I'm going to show to you. This is Indian Value Engineering Society, and it's what it says. As I told you, it says like this, and it's really important one. You can say, what are benefits of value engineering? Value engineering helps your organization and lowering operation maintenance cost, improving quality management, improving resource efficiency, simplifying procedures, minimizing paperwork, lowering staff cost, and you can say increasing procedural efficiency, optimizing construction expenditures, developing value attitude in staffs, and competing more successfully in marketplace. Value engineering helps you to learn how to improve your career skills, separate symptoms and problems, solving root cause problems and capture opportunities, become more competitive by improving benchmark process, take command of powerful problem solving methodology to use in any situation. How is value engineering applied? Technique of value engineering is governed by structured decision making process to assess value of engineering, value of procedures or services. Whenever unsatisfactory value is found, a value management job plan can be followed. This procedure involves following 8 phases. Orientation, that is value. Its plan is value management job plan, how to manage value. Orientation. Number 2 is information. Number 3 is function. Number 4 is creativity, that is design. Evaluation, recommendation, implementation, audit. So orientation, information, function, creativity, evaluation, recommendation, implementation, and audit. Where can I find more about value engineering? Best and most convenient way to learn technique of value engineering and its application is by becoming a member of our Leave It member. This is their own promotion. I'm not interested in that, because I'm using their website, so they are promoting it. Although no, what's value engineering? That's definition. I also read it, but I didn't. No problem. You can see yourself. Value engineering is a function-oriented, systematic team approach, and study to provide value in a product, system, or service. Often, this improvement is focused on cost reduction. Of course, cost reduction one point. However, other important areas such as customer perceived quality and performance are also of paramount importance in value equation. Value engineering techniques can be applied to whatever product, process, procedure, systems, or service in whatever kind of business or economic activity, including health care, governance, construction, industry, and service sector. Value engineering focuses on those value characteristics which are deemed most important from customer point of view. Value engineering is a powerful methodology for solving problems and or reducing cost while maintaining or improving performance and quality requirements. Value engineering can achieve impressive savings much greater than what is possible through conventional cost reduction exercise, even when cost reduction is objective of task. Benefits that we can count, again I say, lowering operational maintenance cost, improving quality organization, improving resource efficiency, simplifying procedures, minimizing writing, lowering staff cost, increasing procedural efficiency, optimizing construction expenditure, developing value attitudes in the staff, competing more successfully in market. So these are just idealistic, you can say. I'm not saying that these are really very much, of course, but these are idealistic. I'll just save this for future reference because I use this one for you. So I have to think of that also. Means if I can use it, that's okay. Otherwise, just for my record as well, what's value engineering, I can say, I can adjust in that please, so that I can have future reference with me. I'm going to save it just for my reference, and you may also question in future, so I know value engineering which I defined to you, where I got it from, and that is really value engineering. I just put it in there. So what is value engineering? I save it now. Okay, I'll put it off now because I have done it, so it's gone. Now I come back to value engineering. Now contractor may contractor may at whatever time submit to employer a written proposal which in contractor's opinion shall, if adopted, accelerate completion. This is one point. We want to get accelerated completion, means we want to save time of completion, and that is really achievement. So what it says, contractor may at whatever time submit to employer a written proposal which shall, if adopted, accelerate completion, reduce cost of employer of executing, maintaining and operating works, improve efficiency or value to employer of completed work, or otherwise be of benefit to employer. These are few points. Of course, very important points here. In fact, everything that we discussed in this work, it comes in here. Whatever we discussed, that is corrected here, and it is really good work. So let's see. कॉन्ट्रैक्टर कभी भी लिख के दे सकता है, सबमिट कर सकता है एम्प्लॉयर को अपनी प्रपोजल, अपना प्लान या अपनी सोच. वो क्या सोचता है, अगर उसकी सोच, उसका प्लान जो भी है कंस्ट्रक्टिव होना चाहिए, सॉलिड होना चाहिए, उसको स्वीकार किया जाए तो वो प्रोजेक्ट को जल्दी कंप्लीट कर सकता है, जिससे और वो कुछ ऐसा कर सकता है जिससे एम्प्लॉयर का खर्चा कम हो. कुछ चेंज ऑफ मटेरियल भी हो सकते हैं, कुछ और भी हो सकता है, डिज़ाइन चेंज भी हो सकता है, उसमें कुछ भी हो सकता है जिससे एम्प्लॉयर का खर्चा कम हो उसको काम करने में, या उस प्रोजेक्ट का जो भी प्रोडक्ट है उसकी मेंटेनेंस में, उसके रखरखाव में कम खर्चा हो, और एम्प्लॉयर को एक सुधार की हुई एफिशिएंसी मिले. वर्क ख़त्म होने के बाद ज़्यादा तेज़ी से काम हो, अच्छी मशीनें अगर ऐसी लगाएं जो और तेज़ी से काम दें, या कोई भी फ़ायदा जो एम्प्लॉयर को मिले. सोच है, प्लान है, कोई ज़रूरी नहीं कि ये सच हो. कॉन्ट्रैक्टर में एट एनी टाइम, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर में एट whatever time submit to employer a written proposal which in a contractor's opinion, if added or if adopted, can accelerate completion, can reduce cost to employer of execution, maintenance and operation of works that shall be part of operation in future, and that can improve efficiency or value to employer of completed works, or otherwise be of benefit to employer. और भी हो सकते हैं इसमें, कोई ज़रूरी नहीं कि ये हो, और भी चीज़ें आ सकती हैं. यू कैन ऐड योर ओपिनियंस, you can add something that means though main points have been covered, means completion you are giving early, efficiency you are improving, and cost is reduced, maintenance cost is reduced, means what else is required? What else is required? That's question A. Proposal shall be prepared at cost of contractor, not at cost of employer, and include details as stated in variation by instruction. जब तक ये प्रपोजल है, आपकी प्रपोजल है कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की. एम्प्लॉयर शैल एज सून एज प्रैक्टिकेबल आफ्टर रिसीविंग सच प्रपोजल. एम्प्लॉयर शैल एज फार एज practicable, as soon as practicable, after receiving such proposal, respond by giving a notice to contractor of employer's consent or otherwise. कुछ समय पश्चात जितना जल्दी हो सके एम्प्लॉयर लिख कर देगा कि हम आपके बात को मानते हैं या नहीं मानते हैं. एम्प्लॉयर shall as soon as practicable after receiving such proposal respond by giving a notice to contractor of employer's consent or otherwise. Employer's consent or otherwise shall be at sole discretion of employer. Contractor shall not delay work, shall not delay whatever work, shall not delay any work while awaiting a response from employer. If employer gives consent, if employer gives consent to proposal with or without comments, employer shall then instruct a variation. अगर एम्प्लॉयर कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की बात को मानता है बिना एनी चेंज के, बिना किसी अपने कमेंट्स के, तो वो इस साथ में ये भी कहेगा कि आप इसकी वेरिएशन दीजिए। मतलब अगर आपने कहा कि बचत होगी तो बताइए कैसे होगी, जो भी इसमें फ़ायदा हमें होगा तो बताइए कैसे होगा, वो डिटेल दीजिए। देयर आफ्टर कॉन्ट्रैक्टर शैल सबमिट एनी फर्दर particulars that employer may reasonably require. Then third paragraph, variation by instruction shall apply, which include consideration by employer of sharing of benefit, costs and or delay between parties stated in particular conditions. So by a procedure है, this procedure in this article, the clause, this 13th clause, that is value engineering, and these are main points. Means something is better than before, you can say, according to change, according to thoughts, according to requirements. We want to make some changes to this contract or in technology of this. It can be whatever, but we have to keep in mind that it should not impact on completion of project, but as he said that it will expedite acceleration. It will expedite, it will accelerate progress. And in case this change does not do that, then it's better not to go to that route. Or you can say at time of bid also, it could be done in terms of alternative proposals. So it's a kind of, a different way of dealing though. Maybe some contractor is very smart, some contractor is very intellectual person because that thinks, and that contractor is professional one, not just contractor but an engineer itself. Or that contractor has organization which can think for such. It's not question of that we have to win this contract and get this much profit, but certain contracts are very much professionally based and they want to make reputation. Maybe this project we are dealing, this design was done a couple of years back and now there have been changes. So those changes can be brought into this form of value engineering. Means first requirement is competency of project, and the requirement is quality. If quality is improved, if safety improved, safety of use of product. Means if you can do something better, you can increase durability or life of product. You can economize some other way. You can economize cost on maintenance and operations. You can economize whatever else, and that can add to value. And value here doesn't mean value of cost. It's not price alone. It's something different. When we say valuation or value does not mean value of money. It means value of quality. It means value of use. If some product is used for 10 years and one is used for 5 years, while the cost of 5 years is equal to 10 years, then what's better? Tell me. Everybody shall like to buy product which has a life of 10 years, not 5 years. So why should I spend more money on something which I can get in different rate? So that's what consideration is. Since when long life you give, means you are sure that you won't face warranty problem, because a manufacturer takes responsibility for long life only when product is reliable, and for half life only when reliable is. If I say no, 5 years I am giving you, this means I'm not sure of my product. When I say no, it's for 10 years, then of course I am sure because my product is as much. I know that this product shall not fail in 10 years. Of course, minor maintenance is different, but in overall consideration, life of safety of product, life of use of product, and its strengthening or de-strengthening, you can say whatever you can consider. We have civil engineers, we deal with buildings, we deal with structures, and we are our products do not amount to few years of use. Our products amounts to decades and decades of use, 5 decades, 6 decades, 7 decades, 10 decades. Our products are different. So we have to be little different in our approach, our construction approach, our design approach, our thinking approach, and on top of that, our construction approach. If you know that we cannot maintain what we say, sometimes to achieve all this, strict controls are required. Strict control means controls on every pinpoint. It's not superficial control, but control by controls itself. So we have to understand this point. In value engineering, it's not joke, no joke. It's a fact. It's complete concentration. If you cannot do that, it's better to avoid such risks, because when you take responsibility, you have to respond. So we say, हमने जो कहा वैल्यू इंजीनियरिंग के बारे में, बहुत अच्छी बात है. हम कितना अच्छा कर सकते हैं डिज़ाइन के काम को, उतना अच्छा करें. जितनी उसकी लाइफ बढ़ा सकते हैं बढ़ाएं. जितने उसके ऊपर खर्चे होंगे मेंटेनेंस रख रखाव पे, उसको कम से कम करें. लाइफ को प्रोडक्ट की बढ़ाने की कोशिश करें कि ज़्यादा लाइफ होगी तो कस्टमर का खर्चा कम आएगा एवरेज. और वो ये ना सोचें कि हमारा बिजनेस नहीं चलेगा. बिजनेस तो आपका और ज़्यादा चलेगा अगर आपका सामान अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि कोई किसी को 1-2 बार तो धोखा दे सकता है, लेकिन बार बार नहीं. अच्छा प्रोडक्ट कभी भी धोखा नहीं देता, याद रख लेना. और झपड़ धपड़ में जो काम होता है वो हमेशा क्वालिटी का नहीं होता है, चाहे वो कोई भी कंपनी करे. इसलिए वैल्यू इंजीनियरिंग एक अजीब सा नाम, जिसके अंदर वैल्यू पैसे की नहीं खाली, लेकिन इनडायरेक्टली तो पैसे की ही है. अगर आपने 5 वर्ष में एक आइटम को चेंज करना है और उसी आइटम को आपने 10 वर्ष में चेंज करना है, तो आपकी 50% सेविंग तो हो ही गई. अरे भाई, 5 वर्ष में आपने जो खर्चा करना था वो आपको 10 वर्ष में करना पड़ेगा. फ़र्क तो है ना. कितना फ़र्क है आप हिसाब खुद लगा लीजिए. इसलिए वैल्यू इंजीनियरिंग को कंडम भी नहीं किया जा सकता और इसको स्टेट अवे माना भी नहीं जा सकता. लेकिन हाँ, कुछ फैक्ट्स हैं जो हम कर सकते हैं. टाइम को बचाना कंस्ट्रक्शन के बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, इससे ज़्यादा कर क्या बचेगा. जितना भी हम बचा सकते हैं बचा लें. क्वालिटी उससे कितनी इम्प्रूव हो सकती है, परफॉर्मेंस की, यूज़ की, वो भी हम कर सकते हैं. ये बातें बहुत आवश्यक हैं. उसको फ्यूचर में हम कितना अच्छी तरह से सेफ रख के काम कर सकते हैं, विश्वास कितना हो उस आइटम पे, ये कुछ बातें आवश्यक हैं. अभी हम गो टू वेरिएशन प्रोसीजर. वैल्यू इंजीनियरिंग बहुत ब्रीफ में मैंने आपको बता दी. एक्सप्लेनेशन तो बहुत होती है इसकी, लेकिन हम तो वैल्यू क्या देंगे. हम तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एग्जीक्यूट सही नहीं कर रहे. हम जब क्वालिटी ही नहीं दे पा रहे तो हम क्या वैल्यू देंगे, ये बात सामने आती है. वी आर अनेबल टू गिव क्वालिटी, वी आर अनेबल टू गिव रिक्वायर्ड सेफ्टी. How do you expect that we can give value? So I think currently, if we emphasize on value engineering, it's waste of time. If people cannot understand ordinary engineering, how can they understand value engineering? It's everything good in theory, everything good in understanding, but it's very difficult in works, in executing contracts. When we cannot control something, how can we have better control on that control? So I think if you can improve quality in a gross way, in an overall systematic way, then we should think of value engineering. And I think it's a long way to go, because our engineering community is not very serious, unfortunately. I can say this openly. Our engineers are engineers, of course, they are very well educated, but I think education is only one part in engineering. Other part is realization of engineering. I don't consider a person who joins engineering and then joins management I don't consider that person an engineer because that is different mode domain. You are not going to manage engineering. In fact, you are going to think of engineering. You are going to research on engineering. You are going to do some better engineering. It means engineering has no limit. Why you want to enter management? I don't understand. You want to run away from responsibility. That can be a reason. Or people are not interested in doing hard work on sites, in construction, in processing, in factories. That's why they want to jump off. But don't forget, management cannot control your life. Management or something else cannot control, cannot overrule engineering. It's only engineering that would help. Maybe production manager not that smart. You are smart. But smartness can pay only to some extent. After that, work only pays technical knowledge. If your material is rejected, what shall you do? Tell me. You have no solution. What solution management person has if your material is rejected? So that's the reason I say engineering is different. So we can think of value engineering, and of course you can say value management, but don't forget management cannot be done on its own. Management is not independent field. It is dependent on industry, it is dependent on restrictions of controls, it's dependent on construction, it's dependent on all these areas which where management, you can say, is secondary in whatever way, but not primary. We're talking of primary engineering, and that means endless engineering. There's no end. Engineering got no end, and that is beauty of engineering. We have to respect this every time, every way. Only then we can say this is value engineering. When we say that variation is required on value, and that variation is by instruction, employer may instruct a variation by giving a notice. Employer may instruct a variation by giving a notice, describing required change and stating whatever requirements for recording of costs to contractor in accordance with instructions. एम्प्लॉयर को अधिकार है, जब बात आगे आती है कि हम आपकी बात मान रहे हैं, आपके नोटिस को, हम आपकी प्रपोजल को मान रहे हैं, जो भी आपके चेंजेस हैं बताएं और उसकी कास्ट के बारे में बताएं. Contractor shall proceed with execution of variation. Contractor shall proceed with execution of variation and within 28 days or other period proposed by contractor and agreed by employer of receiving employer's instruction. Submit to employer representative detailed particulars including what? Including a description of varied work, whatever works comes under variation, a description of varied work performed or to be performed, including details of resources and methods adopted or to be adopted by contractor, a program for its execution and contractor's proposal for whatever necessary modifications to program according to program and to time for completion. Contractor's proposal for adjustment to contractor price with supporting particulars whenever omission of whatever work forms part of a variation, and if contractor has incurred or shall incur cost which if work had not been omitted would have been deemed to be covered by a sum forming part of contract price stated in contract agreement. and omission of work has resulted or shall result in this sum not form part of contract price. This cost may be included in contractor's proposal, and if so, shall clearly identified if parties have agreed to omission of whatever work which is to be carried out by others. Contractor's proposal may also include amount of any loss of profit and other losses and damages suffered or to be suffered by contractor as a result of omission. So I read it again for clarification because a little complication exists. So it says I'm feeling a little fatigued because of cold. So I say very cold here, 13 degrees. Employer may instruct a variation by giving a notice to contractor in accordance with instruction clause. Contractor shall proceed with execution of variation and within 28 days of receiving employer's instruction, submit to employer representative plus representative. You can say submit to plus representative detailed particulars including a description of varied work performed or to be performed, including details of resources and methods adopted or to be adopted by contractor, a program for its execution and contractor's proposal for whatever necessary modifications to program according to subclause and to time for completion, and contractor's proposal for adjustments to contract price with supporting particulars. Whenever commission of whatever work forms part of variation, if contractor has incurred or shall incur cost which, if work had not been omitted, would have been deemed to be covered by a sum forming part of contract price stated in contract agreement, or omission of work has resulted or will result in the sum not forming part of contract price. This cost may be included in contract's proposal if parties have agreed to omission of whatever work which is to be carried out by others. Contractor's proposal may also include amount of whatever loss or this cost may be included in contract's proposal if parties have agreed to omission of whatever work which is to be carried out by others. Contractor's proposal may also include amount of whatever loss of profit and or other losses and damages suffered by contractor as a result of omission. Thereafter, contractor shall submit further particulars that employer's representative may reasonably require. Employer's representative shall then proceed under agreement or determination to agree or determine extension of time if required, or adjustments to contract price and schedule of payments. And for purpose of time limits, date employer's representative receives contractor submission shall be date of commencement of time limit. For agreement, contractor shall be entitled to such extension of time and or adjustments to contract price without any requirement to comply with or claims for payment or EOT. If no schedule of rates or prices is included in contract, adjustment under subparagraph above shall be derived from cost plus profit of executing work. If schedule of rates and prices is included in contract, following provisions of this shall apply to adjustments under subparagraphs above. For each item of work forming part of a variation, appropriate rate or price for item shall be rate or price specified for such item in schedule of rates and prices. Or if there is no such item, rate or price specified for similar work. However, a new rate or price shall be appropriate for an item of work if no rate or price for this item is specified because specified in schedule of rates and prices, and no specified rate or price is appropriate because item of work is not of similar nature, similar character, or is not each item of work forming part of variation, appropriate of price, it shall be rate of price specified in such time schedule. Such item schedule rates prices. If there is no such item, rate of price specified for similar work. However, a new rate of price shall be appropriate for an item of work if no rate or price for this item is indicated. And no specified rate of price is appropriate because item of work is not of similar character or is not expected executed under similar conditions as any other item. Each new rate or price shall be derived from any relevant rates or prices in schedule of rates and prices, with reasonable adjustments taking account of all the relevant circumstances. If no rates or prices are relevant for derivation of a new rate or price, it shall be derived from cost plus profit of executing work until such time as adjustments under paragraph above are A, agreed or determined. Employer shall assess a provisional rate or price for purposes of interim payment under interim payment clause. Each new rate or price shall be derived from whatever relevant rates or prices in schedule of rates and prices with reasonable adjustments taking account of all relevant such circumstances. If no rates or prices are relevant for derivation of any rate or price, it shall be derived from cost plus profit of executing work until such time as adjustments under subparagraph above are agreed or determined. Employer shall assess a provisional rate or price for purpose of interim payment. Variation by request for proposal. So far we only discussed variation. Now it's different, it's variation by request for proposal. Employer may request a proposal before instructing a variation by giving a notice to contractor. Again same procedure, notice to contractor. Employer may request a proposal before instructing a variation by giving a notice to contractor. Contractor shall respond to this notice as soon as possible, as soon as practicable. B. By either submitting a proposal which shall include matters as described in the variation by instruction. Giving reasons why contractor cannot comply if this is case. Giving reasons why contractor cannot comply by reference to matters described in subparagraph right to vary. If contractor submits a proposal, employer shall, as soon as practicable, after receiving it, respond by giving a notice to contractor stating employer's consent or otherwise. Contractor submits a proposal. If contractor submits a proposal, the employer shall, as soon as practicable after receiving it, respond by giving a notice to the contractor stating employer's consent or otherwise. Contractor shall not delay any work whilst awaiting a response. If employer gives consent to proposal with or without comments, employer shall then instruct variation. Thereafter, contractor shall submit any further or whatever further particulars that employer may reasonably require. And third paragraph, variation by instruction shall apply. If employer does not give consent to proposal with or without comments, and if contractor has incurred cost as a result of submitting it, contractor shall be entitled subject to claims for payment annuity to payment of such cost. Now provisional sum we are talking. Provisional sum is different. Tired I am really. Provisional sum, which is different item. Each provisional sum shall not be used in whole or in part in accordance with employer's instructions, and contract price shall be adjusted accordingly. Total sum paid to contractor shall include only such amounts for work, supplies or services to which provisional sum relates, as employer shall have instructed. For each provisional sum, employer may instruct work to be executed, including plant, materials or services, to be supplied by a contractor, and for which adjustment to contract price and schedule of payments shall be agreed or determined under variation by instruction. Plant, materials, works or services to be purchased by contractor from a nominated subcontractor or otherwise, and for which there shall be included a contract price. Actual amounts paid by contractor and a sum for overhead charges and profits calculated as percentage of these actual amounts by applying relevant percentage rate stated in applicable standard schedule. If there is no such rate, percentage rate stated in contract data should be applied. Now give some time there. It's some time to me so that day work will talk of this very important one. Let me go now for 5 minutes and come back. because it's daily routine and I'm very tired after sitting for 2 hours. And my legs are jammed. Oh. Let me go upstairs and come back. Give me a few minutes. You can think on what you have to talk about. If this video continues, it's okay. Otherwise, we'll meet again. And I'll take it out for a couple of minutes. Just let it take it out. Well, okay, it's fine. Continue as such. Let's continue as it is, no problem. So it's talking about it's talking about we're talking about, you can see, about provisional sums, which is very important item. It is fixed in contract as a special item, and this contractor or subcontractor, we can say subcontractor, is nominated by honor through engineer. It may be whatever work or service that can be required, that can be demanded provisionally in contract. That's why it's called provisional sum. There's a provision in contract which the owner has intention that this work should be done by that agency, but on behalf of contractor. Of course, it's for employer, but it becomes a part of contract. If it is used or not used, that is different. If it is used, it has same effect as if it's a part of contract. If employer instructs contractor, as said, this instruction may include requirement of contractor to submit quotations from contractor supplier and or subcontractors for all of items of work to be executed, or plant, materials, works or services to be purchased. Thereafter, employer may respond by giving a notice, either instructing contractor to accept one of these quotations, but such instruction shall not be taken as an instruction under nominated subcontractors, or revoking instruction. If employer does not so respond within 7 days of receiving quotation, contractor shall be entitled to accept any of these quotations at contractor's discretion. Each statement that includes a provisional sum shall also include all applicable invoices, vouchers and accounts of receipts in substantiation of provisional sum. So what we have to do in this, it may be for plant, it may be for material, works or services to be purchased by contractor from certain nominated subcontractors or otherwise, and this price should include actual amounts paid by contractor to that nominated subcontractor, a sum of overhead, charges and profit calculated as a percentage of these actual amounts by applying relevant percentage rate, which are stated in applicable schedule, and if there is no such rate, percentage rate stated in contract data shall apply. Each statement that includes a provisional sum shall also include all applicable invoices, vouchers and accounts और receipts in substantiation of provisional sum. ये जो प्रोविजनल सम है, एक ऐसा पैसा हम रखते हैं, ऐसा अमाउंट रखते हैं कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में जो एम्प्लॉयर की अथॉरिटी में है। वैसे तो सारा काम ही एम्प्लॉयर की अथॉरिटी में है, लेकिन अगर कहीं कोई इच्छा होती है भाई ये काम हम आपके थ्रू कराएंगे, हम डायरेक्ट नहीं देंगे, आप सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर लाइए, हम उसको सेलेक्ट करेंगे या इलेक्ट करेंगे, या जिसको हम कहें आप उसको दीजिए, लेकिन आपकी जिम्मेदारी पे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की, हम आपको पैसे देंगे, रेट के हिसाब से देंगे, लेकिन हम चाहते हैं ये काम किसी दूसरे से हो जाए, जिसको हम कहें उसमें सर्विस आ सकती है, उसमें मटेरियल आ सकता है, मशीन आ सकती है, उसमें कुछ भी आ सकता है जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए ज़रूरी है और हम चाहते हैं ऐसा हो, तो हम आपसे कहेंगे आप कोटेशन लीजिए, उससे कोटेशन हमें भेजिए और हमको बताएंगे क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है। और अगर हम जवाब नहीं देते हैं आपकी बात का 7 दिन के अंदर जब आप हमें दे दें डॉक्यूमेंट्स, तो आपकी इच्छा आप जो करना करिए। ये छोटी सी बात है वैसे, लेकिन बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है। डे वर्क हम आते हैं, ऐसा काम जिसको हम डे वर्क कहते हैं। क्यों कहते हैं डे वर्क, ये बताएंगे आपको। क्या ये इतना आसान है समझना, वो बताएंगे आपको। डे वर्क क्या होता है बताएंगे आपको। डे वर्क, जैसा कि नाम कहा गया डे वर्क, होता क्या है, बहुत सारी, देयर आर सो मेनी आइटम्स ऑन साइट्स ऑन वर्क्स which cannot be measured, or there is no unit price for those items, and this is essential that we have to do those items. इसमें कहते हैं if a day work schedule is not included in contract, this subclause shall not apply. If there is no day work schedule in contract, this clause shall not apply. And what is that schedule? Well, it is said only, but there are so many ways. Sometimes we have mandatory works that we have to do, which cannot be discovered in contract, and it's not possible for employer to work them separately, to award them separately. Maybe small amount, or maybe part of a work which cannot be measured, there's no unit, there's no rate, nothing, but that can be managed. It's not big deal, though it's said that if there is no schedule included, but a schedule can be made, we have to think of that. For works of a minor or incidental nature, we are talking of very minor incidental nature, छोटे मोटे काम, या बाई चांस आ गए जो नहीं आने थे, या जरूरत पड़ गई, employer may instruct that a variation shall be executed on a day work basis. Work shall then be valued in accordance with day work schedule, and following procedure shall apply. Before ordering goods for such work, other than any goods priced in day work schedule, contract shall submit one or more quotations from contractors, suppliers, and or subcontractors to employer. Thereafter, employer may instruct contractor to accept one of these quotations, but such instruction shall not be taken as an instruction under nominated subcontractors. If employer does not instruct contractor within 7 days of receiving quotations, contractor shall be entitled to accept either of these quotations at contractor's discretion. That is one provision. And except for whatever items for which day work schedule specifies that payment is not due, contractor shall deliver each day to employer accurate statements in duplicate and one electronic copy. We shall include contractor's records of resources used in executing previous day work. One copy of each statement shall, if correct and agreed, be signed by employer and promptly returned to contractor. If not correct or agreed, employer's representative shall proceed under agreement or determination. To agree or determine resources, date of works, date, purpose, time limits, date works which are subject to variation under subclause are completed by contractor shall be date of commencement of time limit for agreement under subclause. In next statement, contractor shall then submit priced statements of agreed or determined resources to employer together with all applicable invoices, vouchers and accounts or receipts in substantiation of whatever goods used in works on basis of day work. Unless otherwise stated in day work schedule, rates and prices in day work schedule shall be deemed to include taxes, overhead and profits. एक्चुअली ये क्या है डे वर्क का मतलब? देखो, हम सिंपल भाषा में बात करते हैं, हम कॉन्टेक्ट में नहीं जाते इतना डेप्थ में, क्योंकि आपको समझ नहीं आएगा डे वर्क का मतलब क्या है। हम कुछ ऐसी स्टेज पे पहुंच जाते हैं, वी रीच टू सम स्टेज where there is some small work on a major project or a major structure that we cannot stop, that we cannot hold, and we have to do that. What may come what may, that work is to be done. Contractor shall not do it free, that's also true. If it does, it's contractor's choice. I'm not going to say anything on that. But legally, contractor is not obliged to do that. But it is to be done. So what is solution for that? You have no such item in your glove quantity that you can take reference of. There is no direction, there is no indication, there is no reference on any contract document. But that work is to be done. It's not other than contractual work. It's a part of contract that was missed somewhere, or nobody foresaw that it would happen. It can happen due to circumstances, it can happen due to clashes, it can happen due to whatever reason, that it doesn't become a part of contract. What we have to do in that case? Because we don't have any rates, we cannot measure item, we cannot decide anything, everything is unforeseen. How much time it will take, how much material it will take, how much workforce it will take, how many equipment it will take, it cannot be assessed. So what is best way? Best way is time management, time observation. We have to work. It may take 1 month, it may take 1 week, it may take 2 days, it may take 4, whatever it is. We have to record everything, every activity in terms of parameters, time, cost, material, machine, just like we do. It's like, hourly basis and quantity basis. Both, you can say, on behalf of employer, engineer agrees or resident engineer agrees. Of course, employer agrees, and on behalf of contractor, site responsible person agrees that we will continue this problem with observing daily records. We shall observe what material is used, consumed, what material, whatever material, and we will procure that material, and if we have on site, we will get daily rate of that material. We'll procure it and we'll get bills of that material, payment, receipts of that material. We have workers, we'll use them. All classes of workers can be used. Depending on wages, we pay them, or agreed wages, whatever. We can keep record of them even up to half an hour limit. How many hours they worked, 3 hours, 4 hours, full day. And same way, if machines are required, concrete mixer may be required, lifting equipment may be required, something, whatever is required, we shall record hourly times for that. We'll record all this information every day and submit daily records to resident engineer or engineer, or you can say finally to employer. For how many days does it go on? For how many hours does it go on? We'll record, and when work is over, we'll comprehend all detail, we'll assemble all details. We'll put down a valuation, small valuation for this work, and this procedure is based on day work basis. Every day what work is done, how much does it cost, it's given, and that's where we can say it's important. So this is basic principle of day work. Day work कहता है आपका काम जो मेज़र नहीं हो सकता है, जो आप नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ज़रूरी है, आपको करना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये बिल्डिंग का हिस्सा है, ये इस काम का हिस्सा है, जो आपके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में बिल्डिंग है, लेकिन इसके बिना ये नहीं हो सकता, इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, उसके लिए आपको सारा खर्चा उसका लिखना पड़ेगा, उसके ऊपर जो भी खर्च रहे हैं, मटेरियल का हो, वर्कर्स का हो, मशीन का हो, कोई और हो, उनकी सबकी डिटेल के साथ हर रोज़ आपको सबमिट करना पड़ेगा रेजिडेंट इंजीनियर के पास से इंजीनियर के पास और एम्प्लॉयर के पास। मतलब जब इंजीनियर के पास सबमिट कर रहे हैं, आरई के पास सबमिट कर रहे हैं, एम्प्लॉयर के पास अपने आप हो गया, और जब आपका काम कंप्लीट हो जाए, दोनों के साइन रोज हों, इंजीनियर रेजिडेंट इंजीनियर के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के और आपके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के, उस सब का फिर आप बिल बना के दे सकते हैं, वैल्यूएशन बना के कि इसने इस पर खर्चा आया, और वो आपका वेरिएशन बन जाएगा। अलग से पेमेंट उसकी नहीं होगी, डे वर्क की पेमेंट वेरिएशन में आ जाएगी और वो आपको मिलेगी। ये इसका सोल्यूशन है डे वर्क का। इस डे वर्क में आप कुछ भी करा सकते हैं जो ज़रूरी हो, एक्स्ट्रा नहीं, जो ज़रूरी हो जाए, क्योंकि उसके लिए कोई भी नहीं चाहेगा। थोड़े से 0.01% के लिए कौन चाहेगा अलग से टेंडर हो, अलग से बिडिंग हो, कोई नहीं चाहेगा। What it is, and really that's very interesting one. Principle, supposition, principle, everything that we understand very well. अब हम डे वर्क से आगे चेंज इन लॉज के बाद में बात करेंगे। विल टॉक लेटर ऑन बिकॉज इट्स ऑलरेडी, आई डोंट वांट टू, आई एम नॉट वेरी स्ट्रांग टुडे, so I close down now and we'll see you later on. I think 2.5 hours today is okay, no problem. I'll take your leave now. I'll take your leave and we'll see again maybe next time. I hope you enjoyed this talk literally, and I think we should now take closer on this. Thank you very much, gentlemen.